Amani channel, webvideochefs.com. And if you shoot video, you really won't have anything to show if you don't edit it. And in this recipe, I'm talking all about Final Cut Pro X. So, editing is really the last phase of production. There's pre-production, which is the planning phase, production, which is when you shoot it, and then post-production, which is the edit. And if you've ever shot any video, hopefully you've taken the steps to edit it, because if you don't, you may or may not have anything to show for it, because editing is really when you polish the video up. You add music, your graphics, your text. You make a polished edit so that the story flows, and it's a really important part. That's really where you create your video. That's really where I say the video magic happens. So what's my experience with editing? Well, I started editing back in 1998 around. The first TV station I worked at, they had a non-linear editing system. It was an Avid system. The station was in DC at WJLA. And I cut my first resume or demo tape. I wanted to be a reporter. And so I edited that tape using the station's Avid machine. And so that was my first taste. And then when I ended up working in Tampa, they actually had a deck-to-deck system of editing, which is linear editing. And so it's a little bit different system, but basically you have two decks and you set in points manually, and then you hit a button called auto edit, and then the machines go and sync up and they create the edit. But nowadays, almost 100% of any editing situations will involve nonlinear editing systems or software-based editing. And that's really once I transitioned out of news full-time and started dabbling with online video, that's really where I really learned to hone my skills in terms of editing. Now, I'm not an editor. I will say that I don't consider myself to be an editor, but I know how to edit. So I'm more of a producer, look at the big picture of production, but these days you have to know how to do a little bit of everything. So I first started editing using Windows Movie Maker, which is a free software that comes with any PC. You can download it for free from Microsoft's site. If you're looking for a free solution and you're on a PC, I suggest you start with Windows Movie Maker. You can add text, graphics, do basic edits, narration, all of the above. And then I moved over to Adobe Premiere Pro on the PC, and really enjoyed Premiere Pro. Used it for several years. It was, I think, CS2 when I first got started, and then I finally moved over to a Mac, and that's when I got Final Cut Pro. And so I started editing using Final Cut Pro 7, and Adobe Premiere and Final Cut are very similar in terms of the basic editing tools and the ways you create edits. And so I found that transition rather simple to do, and all the same while I've always edited with Adobe Premiere. So I've gone to Adobe Premiere, I think 5.5, and I have Adobe Premiere 6 as well. And now the latest and greatest, of course, is Final Cut Pro 10, which got some pretty stark criticism from professional editors when it was first released. I think more pros are starting to dabble with it. Whether or not it will have widespread professional adoption is yet to be seen. It's much more affordable, so I definitely think the prosumers are going to gravitate towards Final Cut Pro 10. It has some similar look and feel to iMovie. And so that was one of the biggest criticisms of Final Cut Pro 10 or Final Cut Pro X, was that it was like a iMovie Pro, which, you can argue for and against that. That's not really why I'm here. That being said, I've dipped and dabbled with Final Cut Pro 10 ever since it came out, and slowly but surely I've been editing more and more of my video production tutorials for web video chefs using Final Cut Pro 10. And I finally decided to do my first full-blown edit using Final Cut Pro 10. So just to set it up with, I volunteer and serve with a nonprofit called New Leaders Council. It's a leadership training organization, national organization. They have a local chapter in Atlanta where I live. And so every year the fellows who are in the program, they do a fundraiser. And so I took it upon myself to shoot some interviews with the fellows to help them not only promote the organization, but to also promote the fundraiser. So I used a Panasonic GH2 to shoot it up. I mic'd up all the fellows with a Sony ECM microphone, so it had a professional microphone running in. I shot about 6 or 7 interviews, and then I took the video home and I edited it using Final Cut Pro 10. So to start off with, let me just show you the timeline in this project file and sort of walk you through this project that I created.
All right, so this is Final Cut Pro 10, and basically
This is what the interface looks like anytime you're creating a video using Final Cut Pro 10. All right, so just walk you through it really quickly here. You go to File and New Project, which creates a new timeline essentially, and then New Event, which creates a new bin if you're familiar with Final Cut Pro 7 or Adobe Premiere, where you store all your media. So an event is where you store your media. It's all the video that's associated with your specific video. And the project refers to the timeline. So there are two different things that you need to set up as new, and then you can associate event with a project when you're getting started. Another thing that people like to do is create keyword collections or keyword their videos. So the raw files can all be keyworded up, which makes it easy to kind of organize your videos and go through and edit them. It has XML export, and I believe you can import XML as well. And so yes, there you go, file import XML. You can import iMovie projects as well. And so and also just import regular media. So if you wanted to import some files, you just go there, and then you can just use this interface here to import your specific files. All right. This is basically your canvas, which also shows it shows your video source, and then it also shows your timeline. Just depending upon what you're clicked on. It can be confusing if you're just getting started, if you're used to using the 2-window format, but it works. It's not very confusing once you get used to it. Down here, this probably looks familiar to iMovie for you. So if you want to import your photos, you can import your iPhoto photos. You can import music from your from GarageBand or from your iTunes. This is some basic transitions, so you can always you can just add a transition easily. You have cross dissolves and all sorts of transitions. This is your text or titles. You have some basic lower third presets here or templates that you can use. And this one is just various themes that you can add to your videos. What else is there? Let me see here. This is a filter. So if you want to add a certain look to your video, you can just add a filter easily by just dragging it onto whatever image you want to drag it onto, and you can always preview it just by clicking on it, and it'll automatically give you a look, show you how it looks. So that's that one. All right, so just some basic stuff here. You can also have some video choices here, so you can do some different things with the video in terms of darkening it, lightening it, adjusting the size. If you want to resize anything, you could always click on there and resize it accordingly. And the good thing about Final Cut Pro 10 is it auto renders, so that's also what's cool about it. All right, so enough about that. We have some other. Chip is really the expert in Final Cut Pro 10. Let me get into this timeline and just explain it to you so quickly. These are all the interviews. So this is an interview package, basically, or a soundbite package in which the people were just speaking from first-person accounts, and I just edited their soundbites together. This is the motion graphic intro that was already created that just has the NLC kind of graphic that the organization provided. And then here you'll see this is the NLC bug, or basically it's like just this watermark that I created. So I just made it off the channel in Photoshop, and then I just laid it over on this video track, and then you can resize it accordingly. So I just resized it to what you see here. All right. This is the lower third. So for each speaker, I created a lower third just using Final Cut's preset templates. So it's pretty easy to do. And these are photos. So I mostly use photos with this package. I just, added photos and added a little Ken Burns effect to it. And that worked out pretty well. And so that's really it. This is the music track. So I laid a couple different music tracks underneath music beds underneath this video. This is a keyframe where I increased the volume here for this one section of it, and that's pretty much it. So I just chopped the video together, and the way you create or create your edit points is you just go to the whatever part of the interview. This guy would kill me if anyways. And then you hit I for in point, and then you go to wherever you want the edit to end, and you go O. And then once you do that, you can click on any of these three little icons here to lay the edit in. And here you see that it laid this edit in at the very end
of the timeline. All right, so I'll just go ahead and undo that. So that's basically it. Just want to give you a quick overview of how I created this first video using Final Cut Pro 10. Let me just go ahead and show you the video now so you can see exactly what I produced.
I'm Patricia Barton.
And I am an NLC Fellow.
I'm Nikema Williams.
And I'm an NLC Fellow.
My name is Matt Westmoreland.
And I am an NLC Atlanta Fellow.
I'm Josh Noblet, and I'm a 2013 NLC Fellow.
The NLC is a progressive organization developing progressive young leadership.
Our future depends on the next generation of leaders, and that's what NLC is about, producing those people and getting them the skills that they need.
The expectation was that NLC would bring together 25 ambitious, bright, hardworking folks who want to move Atlanta forward, and the experience has been just that.
Every seminar has been helpful.
I think that the classroom teaching has been excellent in terms of, giving us the tools that we need to be able to really become active, even more active, or more strategic in our activism.
NLC Atlanta Class of 2013 fundraiser is on Saturday, May 25th at Truly Living Well Farms in the historic 4th Ward.
This community is food insecure, which means that they have low access to fresh local produce.
We believe that good food should be available to everyone.
Crafting Bowls for Change is the name of the event. You should get behind it for two reasons. One, you want to support progressive leadership.
Our proceeds will help our leadership program in and of itself, so to bring more leaders in the Atlanta area.
It is an opportunity for us to really put our values into practice.
And two, you believe in access to healthy foods.
Through working with Wholesome Wave of Georgia, we're able to make natural and organic food affordable for people who are using EBT or SNAP benefits.
Half the dollars raised will go to support NLC Atlanta. The other half the dollars raised will go to double the value of food stamps at local farmers markets, so that people that are in need and less fortunate situations are able to access healthy foods.
And it's a progressive idea. It's something that we can all get behind. We all want people to eat healthy food. We all want people to be healthy in their lifestyles.
It's something that's going to be fun, exciting, and give back to the community.
I'm excited for the fundraiser, and I'm specifically very excited because we're combining our efforts with a community-based organization, and I think that's where progressivism and being an entrepreneur and being a leader in the community lies in.
So what are my thoughts overall about Final Cut Pro 10? First of all, if you're an amateur, if you're just learning how to edit, Final Cut Pro 10 is very simple to use. It's simple to make edits, it's simple to get started. I know my partner Chip Dazar teaches 15-year-olds how to edit with Final Cut Pro 10, and they pick it up pretty quickly. If you're a professional, I think that you should want to try to start learning about Final Cut Pro 10, because it is very powerful. You can do a lot of things very simply. I've done multicam edits in seconds. It syncs up audio. If you record your audio separately, it's really easy to sync your audio. It has a lot of functions and built-in features that make editing a breeze. Now, will it ever regain the respect that Final Cut Pro 7 had? I don't know about that. Will it ever be used professionally to edit movies in Hollywood like Final Cut Pro 7? That's to be seen. That being said, Final Cut Pro X is affordable. It's great if you're just learning, and it's great if you're a professional too, because you can definitely do professional things. It has XML import. It has many of the features that you would expect in any sort of professional software suite. All right, so those are my thoughts on Final Cut Pro 10. Keep it here at webvideochefs.com. If you have any questions, you can always ask us at ask@webvideochefs.com. Like this video or subscribe to it, or subscribe to our newsletter on our website. We love to keep you updated with all the great things we're doing here. Talk to you soon.